Disney has been remaking their animated classics for years. Some love them, some don't. But is it just modern nostalgia or a lousy cash grab? Hello everyone and welcome back to AustinPlus Commentary, where today we are asking ourselves, why do we still get live action Disney movies again? Like why? What is the point? Live action Disney movies have not been the best received, let's be completely honest with ourselves, but they keep on making them expecting different results. So why not analyze this and see why Disney still do this 10 years down the line? So the best way to actually start off an understanding is when did they actually start doing this, because fun fact, a lot of you don't know, this has actually been going on for about 12 years. Some people might not know, Alice in Wonderland was the first live action adaptation of a Disney movie. Now this was released in 2010 and another was released 5 years later. Incorrect after reading this. It's actually 3 years later with Cinderella. Both of them were fairly mediocre in terms of all aspects of the film, such as quality and story. I mean, the story didn't really change, but there's quality and overall just remake. However, the biggest break in terms of Disney live-action projects was Beauty and the Beast. They later went down to do The Lion King, Dumbo, and The Jungle Book, and then they landed with Aladdin. Aladdin was actually peak, I'll say that much. But the other ones were they just fell short so hard. But they are created due to nostalgia. They might want to bring in more modern characters. They might want to bring in more of a modern audience. It's Disney, they don't really have to. But also, it makes sense to try and ensure box office consistency, and attracting new generations isn't the worst thing in the world. The three best Disney live-action remakes were Cinderella, The Jungle Book, and Aladdin. There was strong casting, especially with the likes of Will Smith as a genie. The Jungle Book took a darker approach in terms of the story, which people thought was a bit weird, and A Jungle Book wasn't exactly popular in its original time, other than the soundtrack, and they kind of fell short with the soundtrack in the live-action anyway. This indicates that while they were focused on nostalgia, they were also trying to be original in terms of their direction for these movies. When you're trying to remake a fucking film, you don't change the story. Especially Disney, for all things. Now that was considered the biggest hits in terms of like Disney and Disney live action. Now that's a low bar. So let's get to the big misses that this franchise had. When Disney came out with The Lion King, Mulan, Pinocchio, each of them still was a box office triumph because people were hoping for such good. The money went up, the critics went down. The Lion King had really poor CGI. Mulan was just a shame. Now, I wasn't really a fan of Mulan, so I was like, it doesn't really hit me this hard. Then I saw people's reviews. They slated this thing beyond belief. And Pinocchio, I just never watched it. It was just a bit too wooden for me. Why do I do this? Why? To be fair, it can't be any worse than them trying to recreate live-action horror variations of Disney villains. That's just fucking evil. Now, the problem with all of these live actions and the problem with all of these remakes is that they still have one thing in common. The thing with Disney is money is paper. Money comes so easily to them because they've built such a good franchise. They have parks, they have movies, they've got CGI galore. They don't really, if they make a bad movie on multiple occasions, it really wouldn't matter. It probably didn't put a dent in their box office, let's be honest, because the problem that we as an audience have, me included, we all still go to the cinema and watch these. Even if they're bad. They've got the cinema business down. Obviously, they've been going for nearly 100 years, which is also why they probably continue making them, because they still make a shit ton of money for them. Now, in terms of what's upcoming in terms of live action, there's one I do hold out hope for, because I really like Moana. I think that was an amazing movie. The second one was a bit shit, but so they're trying to find a way to get around to doing live action adaptations for Moana, Frozen, and Hercules. Hercules, I think, has been overdone in terms of mythology and then Disney, but it depends on the way they want to go. Moana and Frozen, I think would be a very good contrast. Just please don't mess it up. But that's actually quite modern Disney. So just be fair, if they mess up modern Disney, surely that's an indication to just stop. I'm excluding those horror adaptations because they're just wrong. Now, Disney's live action era has given us some great films and some forgettable ones. That's for sure. The real question is, how long will audiences keep showing up for them? But without further ado, everyone, that is the end of today's video. I do hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe and comment what else you would like to see on this channel. But without further ado, hope you have an amazing day as always, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Yeah.